Hello, I have a bucket of flowers here and I just thought I would do a little casual video just while I make up a bouquet. I'll show you some of what I am harvesting at the moment and how I pull a bouquet together whilst we have a chat as well. Hello, if you're new here, I am Ellie and I'm an urban flower farmer here in Taupo, New Zealand, which is gardening zone 9B. I do a little bit of floristry work, growing the flowers as well, but I also have a normal job and I have 2 kids as well, so it really is a juggle. But if you're new to this channel, have a watch the video, and if you like it, I'd love if you subscribed as well. I've got this beautiful, it's called Euphoria Kilimanjaro. It's the first time I've grown it this year, and I let the seedlings get really leggy before I transplanted them. So I cut this pretty much at the base, but I'm pretty sure if I had been a better plant grower, I could have cut above a leaf node here and it would have branched out, and I think it's quite a productive flower. I just didn't do a great job of growing it this year, but I might actually start some more this week. It did grow really fast, so yeah, I might give this one another try. But look how pretty that foliage is. So that is Euphoria Kilimanjaro. So I think I'm going to start with that first, and I'm going to pull in some, what have I got here, some Persian cress, which is in the seed pod stage. I just did a video on this flower centered around flowers that are great for growing in shade. So this was grown in pretty much full shade. I've got beautiful stems from it. This is just one of the branch offs from the main stem, but it's very pretty. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to do a little bit of a spiral bouquet, but I am going to work with sorry, my camera just ran out of memory card. So I'm just going to start with the Euphoria Kilimanjaro and the Persian cress, and I'm just going to start working in a spiral formation. I strip anything that's below that point that I'm holding there. And even though I'm doing a spiral, this is a smaller bouquet, so I'm definitely doing it with a focus that it's going to have a little bit of a front when I wrap it. So after that, I'm just going to go in maybe with some statice. This is my favourite, actually I'm going to say second favourite because my favourite's coming up, statice, and this is apricot statice. This is autumn sown and you get beautiful long branching stems, and I'm just going to go in the same angle that the Persian cress was. I'm going to angle it a little bit lower, just so when you're looking at the bouquet, statice is a really great filler, so it's going to fill any of those big gaps that you might get. So I'm going to pop that in, and then I'm just going to give it a little turn, quarter turn, and I might go in with, need something that's a little bit taller than that rose there. Straw flower. This one is called Silvery Rose, and again this was, I think this was actually self-sown, so I just let this go to seed at the end of, what would it have been? I let it go to seed in autumn, and then they just started popping up in spring again. I've got a rogue stock flower as well that was growing in where I've got the Persian cress, so it was going in that part shade. Strip that statice stem a little bit better. What else have I got? Another favourite of mine is this beautiful, hopefully the camera focuses, there we go, Nigella. And this is a flower that I have had absolutely zero success with sowing in trays. And you'll know I've mentioned before that I'm a seed sowing control freak. And I don't like to direct sow anything, but since I started direct sowing the Nigella, it's been so successful. It just pops up. So I bury it maybe half a centimetre. I try to do it when we've got a period of rain coming, and it's so easy. I don't know why I bothered trying to sow it in trays for so long. All I needed to do was throw it in the garden. Still got some poppies, which I am really wanting to rip out at the moment actually. I'm going to place that a little bit higher just because it's delicate. I don't want to get it crushed by all the other stems. So I'm going to kind of have that floating up by itself. And then I want to kind of match that over the other side, I think. Straw flower's getting a little bit lost, so I just might pull it up, but I'll do tweaks at the end anyway. Yeah, so Nigella, if you've also had trouble with it, just chuck it in the garden. And that's the most success that I've had. There's a little spider there. You get some added extras when you buy from local growers. Hopefully not too many spiders and critters. You can see here, this is a Nigella. It's got the flower on it, but it's also got, that's the seed pod. So I like them because they're another flower that's really pretty to use at kind of both stages for something different. And it means that when they flower, I don't have to panic about cutting them right away if I haven't got many orders in, because I know I can just let them go to that seed pod stage and I'm still going to be able to use them in bouquets. Now this is another interesting one that I popped up on my Instagram stories the other day, and quite a few people were asking me what they were, and they are gladioli. So you'll know that I'm a fan of gladioli. Which is maybe a little bit controversial because they could potentially be seen as a bit of an 80s flower, but these are gladioli nanus, and they are just mini gladioli. I'm trying to get it so it will focus. I think you can see that there. They're so delicate, so pretty. Once you have the bulbs, I think these are 3 years old now, and I've moved house in that time. So once you have the bulbs, they're not super expensive, but they just keep coming. I've moved house 3 times, not kept a track of the bulbs, as in I've not been precious about them and lifted and moved them and kept track of where they are, but they just keep popping up. So this is what we have so far. I'd love to know in the comments what your favourite kind of style of bouquets are. Mine are very whimsical and natural looking, but do you like that style, or do you prefer the more structured kind of classic ones, I guess? I'd love to know. I've got these beautiful snapdragons, which I have no idea, I can't remember what I sowed now. I definitely grew them from seed, so I'll have to dig out the seed packet. Are they Maryland orange? Maryland would be about the right time for them to be blooming now. They're typically the first ones to bloom that I sow. I love them. I'm going to plant way more next year, especially as they are blooming during this time when things are still starting to kick off. It's definitely ramping up. I'm just going to pop that in the middle there. So yeah, that's nice. And because I went in with that status, created me a nice base just to then to be able to slip stems in, and it still looks really full because the status, you'll see, creates a really lovely filler. Look, that is a beautiful colour too. Let me just take that out and show you. It's got slight bits of purple in. I'm not sure if you can see. I know I say it pretty much in every video, but I think status is such an underrated flower, and if you don't grow it, you 100% should grow it. It's worth its weight in gold in the garden. It just keeps pumping out blooms. I have a couple of different successions in the garden at the moment, and they will just keep blooming through autumn as well. Got more Nigella, even though I don't want to lose that. I know it's going to sit behind my vine point, so I'm still just stripping that off. I could always use them just for me in the house in a little vase. I think Nigella, they just add that little twinkle. Every flower that I grow, I just wish I'd sown more of, and Nigella is definitely one of those this year. And I knew that last year. Last year I said I need to sow more Nigella, so I did, but I should have sown even more. I've got some roses here. When we moved into this house, we were really lucky that it had a massive rose garden. But because we're still in an urban plot, the rose garden took up a big space. and they were really pretty, but they were pretty for a short period of time, and then the rest of the year they just looked very ugly. So I did pull them out, which I know might be a bit naughty, but I planted dahlias there instead. But this rose, it's actually from a climbing rose, and it's the longest stem length that I've gotten from any of the others. It's just behind me actually. I don't think you can see it. I think we've just got the yellow rose bush, which is also an ugly colour, so it's on my chopping list. But it's a climbing rose, and yeah, I get the best stem length out of it for some reason. And then I've got Orlea, which is a little bit temperamental when you cut it. This is one that really does need that good 12-hour rest after you've cut it before you work with it, because it will just droop and look saggy. But if you do give it that rest in the bucket of cold water, it's fine, and you'll get a really good vase life out of it as well. It just does need that rest. Now, when I said the apricot status was my favourite, and then I said I lied, it's this one. Is it gonna focus? I'm gonna have to come in closer. It is like a lavender colour, and it's so pretty. I'll pop the name up of it on the screen. I love it. I think I've only got 2 plants, and I have a wedding that I'm doing the start of November, so I'm saving most of it for the wedding, just in case. I've ordered some delphinium from the wholesaler because the bride wants some blue in her bouquet, but I'm using that status as a backup if the delphinium can't be supplied for whatever reason. I'm going with the foxglove, and I've got the height of the gladioli on the other side. So I'm just gonna pop the foxglove coming over the other side just to balance it. I'll try and hold this in a way that you can see so far. And I haven't done my twigs yet. I'll still be pulling some stems up just to give them a little bit more of their own space and moving some stems around, but you've got to start somewhere, so just going around. And you can see that when I said I'm gonna make it with a front focus, I've just put that lovely focal rose at the front there, because it does have a shorter stem as well. And I've got scabiosa. I've got another stem of white status. Just gonna put another bit of Persian cress at the back just to give it a little bit more height. And I've got this rose which will open up over time, and put that peeking up through the back. It's really quite tricky to show you on camera what it's looking like, but using the camera is actually really useful. I can see I've got a bit of a gap here, and the umbral of the Orlea. It's going to be nice to pop in there. You don't always have to fill a gap either, is what I have been taught. Gaps can create their own effect. Okay. And this bouquet, I'll count up how many stems I'm using at the end, but this is actually for a friend who has just completed her master's degree, so I'm not selling this one, but if I was, this would be a $40 bouquet. And I've got this poppy, but I've just noticed the petals are a little bit bruised, so I'm actually not going to pop that in. And this poppy that I did have in over here, I'm just going to change that and feed it through here. There was just a bit too much going on one side and not the other. No, I don't like it there either. Maybe I go low with it. I just don't want it to get crushed, I find, is the difficulty with poppies. And I don't want it to take away from that rose. I'll try and get some better shots of this that I'll put up. A little bit better light so you can see it in here. I just love the Persian cress. If you are looking for a flower that does well in shade, and the nigella is growing in the same bed as that one, so nigella is another one that I found doesn't mind a bit of shade. But that is the bouquet, and then I will just go and wrap it. Like I said, it definitely has a front, so if I turn it round, you'll see I haven't really made it in that kind of rounded shape. It definitely has a front and a back. And then I think the snapdragon are what really makes this one shine, and the gladioli. They're so pretty. If you don't like gladioli, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I like the wild look, but I know it's not for everybody, so I will not be offended if you hate it. So I just counted and I used about 20 stems in this, and I know I said it was a $40 bouquet, but then when I think I've put 20 stems in, it should definitely be more. Because 20 stems at $40, if you think of wholesale prices, if you do have access to any wholesale lists, that's cheaper than wholesale price. So I don't want to do that, because that means that no other florist who isn't growing their own flowers can compete with those prices if you have to order in. It means that then if I do have to order flowers in for an order, I'm going to lose money, because people expect my price to be $40 for something like this, when it's probably going to cost me that just to order the flowers wholesale. So then you've got to pay shipping and everything on top of that. So I wouldn't make any money on a bouquet like this. So yeah, this should more be around the $60 to $70 if I wanted to make money if I wasn't growing the flowers. But as I said, this is just for a friend as well, so if I was doing one of my normal kind of $30 bunches, it would be smaller than this. I'm just tying it off with some string. Sorry, see that I'm fiddling around with the jute. Just trying to tie a knot. They have just gone around a couple of times with the jute. And now I'm just tying it off in a knot, which is going to hold it together. So I will go and pop this in some water now, and then I will wrap it later. Just before I go and see my friend, I'll just keep it in a nice cool place in the house. It's not going to get any direct sunlight on it, and it's not going to be close to any fruit or veg as well, which can affect the flowers. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit more casual than my other ones. If you don't like it, please let me know as well, because I want to be making stuff that you guys are interested in and that you watch. But if you like this, just kind of make a bouquet, and I'll go through the flowers that I'm using and have a little chat. Yeah, let me know. I will see you next time.